Hello, hello out there. Hey, folks, I see y'all. Happy September. September 21st to be exact. Let me know if y'all can hear me because I'm not seeing my little microphone moving. So let me know that you can actually hear me. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Ronnie Sue and Tracy. Hi, Ra. Lunar. I feel like I know who that is. Lunar laugh. I'm going to say it that way. Hope that's right. Rachel, yay. So that means you can hear me? Yes. I hope so. Hey, hey. Okay, good. I'm getting some things that make me think you all are actually hearing me. So let me start by saying hello and welcome. Today is Saturday, September 21st. And I'm so happy that some of you are here to hang out with me for a little while. My name's Kiala Givehand. If you happen to be new here, welcome to my channel. And I'd like to be able to say, oh, this channel is all about this, and this, but it's about a bunch of different things. It's whatever has me excited and joyful. That's what I bring here. So that's what we're doing. Um, Rachel says, I was so excited. I put on lipstick. No one can see me. I love that. Well, if we were on Zoom, we would all see your beautiful lip gloss. Um, so, listen, I have a lot that I want to share with you all today. So much so that I was like, let me make a list. So I started writing this list, and then I was like, oh God, this is ridiculous. Just stop, hop on, have a chat with folks, say hello. So I told Damon, I was like, I will not be on more than 90 minutes. So you all have to help me stay on time. I was a tad bit late, so as of right now, we're almost 2 minutes in. Okay, so I'm going to try to be succinct. I'm going to try and talk about the things that I came to talk about. Um, Birds, bees, yes, our fave. Here, Rachel, I'm going to, in solidarity, here's my favorite, here's one of my favorites, plum. In solidarity, I'm going to put on some, nobody can see me either, friend, but here we go. David's gonna come on and be like, why are you done up? Did you even go on? Like, did people see you? Listen, it's burst bees. We need to keep our lips supple. How about that? All right, done and done, Rachel. High five. Hey, Courtney. All right, loves. So let me get into it and talk to y'all about what I want to talk about. So for those of you that are brand new to me, I am, let's see, how would I describe myself? Multi-passionate. I'm an entrepreneur. I've run several businesses over the years. Currently run, we're going to say two. It's probably more like three. If a business guru came and looked in the back of my business, they were like, you are running 4 businesses at once. But really and truly, yeah, I run a thriving business that I love and adore. And in that multi-passionate, if I were to put umbrella around that, creativity and empowering others. Those are the two things that I bridge. And under the creativity umbrella, we have all sorts of things. I'm a bookbinder, printmaker. Um, I create all sorts of tools that I think help people be more creative. Classes and workshops included under the tools category. I do a lot of different things. I am a fountain pen collector. I put that under both creativity and empowerment. And then under the empowerment side, mindset coaching, working with people to better their lives, the Rich Life framework that Damon and I created, teaching people how to, and the way I bridge the two things is teaching people how to find the best version of themselves, live into that as much as possible. And we use things like tarot, astrology, human design, all sorts of things, creativity to bridge that creator in us and the empowered version of us, right? That's kind of the work that I do in the world in a nutshell. That is like the short version. Okay. Speaking of hydrated, I got my water sitting here in a little mason jar. So that's in a tiny nutshell what I do. Writing classes, creativity, pull pen paint, soul collage. I have a lot of ways that I do those two things of creativity and empowerment. So I'll leave it at that for now. Okay, so those of you who know me, thank you for coming back over and over again. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being in this community. You all are why I keep showing up, honestly, because if you've known me for 5 minutes, which I like to say a lot, if you've known me for 5 minutes, then you know that I can disappear real quick and be like, people schmeeple. I don't need people. People don't need me. Um, but you all, time and time again in this community, remind me that it is a symbiotic relationship. We need each other. And that is, I need to be reminded as a double Capricorn Leo, I need to be reminded that we need each other. So, all of that to say, I have been doing I'm always doing a lot of shadow work and healing work in the background. And sometimes I share that stuff publicly inside my community, especially in the deep dive group that I run, and also in my pulp and paint community. Those two communities, I think, get to see me at my the most purest version of me, the me that is like really stripped down to just like, this is who I am. Now that's pretty much who I am 99.9% of the time, but sometimes when I'm put in different situations, I have to pause and just sit back and be quiet and figure out where I fit into that space. But when they are spaces I've created, what you see is what you get. I am pretty much the same if you were to meet me online or in person or in a class or at a workshop or in a presentation or at a retreat. I have worked really hard to be a consistent version of myself. And in doing that, I want to be the highest version of myself. And so that work requires a lot of self-assessment, a lot of reevaluating of who I am and what I do and what I say, and a lot of journaling, a lot of journaling, a lot of journaling, a lot of journaling, and a lot of going back and reading my journals, reflecting and seeing, how far I've come, how much further I still have to go. And so I say all of that to say over the last 6 years, many of you know that I moved back to Pensacola, Florida, which is where my mother was living at the time and is living and has been for a long time. It is also my hometown, is where I grew up. I have a lot of trauma attached to this space. I was away for 27 years where I didn't really come home. I'd come home for a few things here or there, a wedding, a funeral, a birthday, a really big birthday, things like that. But for 27 years, I distanced myself from this place geographically and in a lot of ways, spiritually, mentally, all the lees, because I needed to heal from some things. Okay, we won't get into all that part today, but what I'll say is I've been back here for 6 years, helping take care of my mama, helping my mama get back to her best self. And in that, I realized in the last maybe 2 or 3 months that I really lost my best self in all of that. Okay. And so I've been doing a lot of work well, maybe more like the last 6 months. And then in the last 3 months, I've been really working to reclaim that, to really get to the heart of how that happened. I know how it happened, but how to move myself out of that, right? How to bring myself back to feeling like the best version of me. And so one of the ways, so all of that was a long story to get you to this part, which is why we're here today. One of the things that really helps me to be the best version of me, my highest self, my highest vibrating self, my highest sort of performing self, my most productive version of me, the kindest version of me, the most organized version of me is being organized. I love structure and order. And for the last 6.5 to 7 years, I have been living willy nilly. Listen to me, people. Just ah, all over the place. And I didn't even realize it. Here's the thing. Sometimes when we're in it, we don't realize what's happening. We don't realize what's happening. I had to zoom way out to see it, to go, right? I had to have a little mini breakdown over here and go, what is wrong? What is happening? So here I am, bringing myself back to myself. I figured out a lot of the ways, and the biggest thing, like I'm still a good damn version of myself, okay? I'm so much different than I was 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago even. All right? But still in that I could feel something wasn't quite right. Something wasn't quite on par. And so I had to do a lot of soul searching. I had to have some solitude and silence, which I gave myself. I had to really get clear. I had to hear my own voice again. And it was so loudly saying to me, girl, you are being willy nilly. Get some order and some structure in your life. And so that's where I am, friends. Order and structure. One of the ways I do that, so I've shared this little story before that I used to be super hyper scheduled, like ridiculously so. I also used to be extreme organized. Okay. Now, as we live, we learn lessons. And one of the lessons I learned is that, there can be some balance. There's willy nilly, that's all the way on this side. And then there's hyper over organized, over structured, over, and that's way over there. I'm trying to be somewhere over here, not so much over here and not all the way over there, but somewhere around, we're going to hover in this general area. Okay. And so I know that for some of you, you're like, oh God, no, 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 no to the organizing, no to the being orderly and planned out and none of that. But this works for me. When I look back over my life at the times when I was my most happiest, most productive, most like thriving part of me, most joyful, I was scheduled and organized, right? And so that's where I'm going, friends. It's time for me to get back there. So with all of that said, I want to show you some things that have helped me in the past, and I believe will help me as I move forward. I've already started putting things back in order and back in place for myself. I think the other thing was going digital with my calendar was like, it felt good at the time, but I think it was a little bit of the beginning of my downfall is having my calendar only be digital because I don't know. I can't quite put it into words. Some of you here might be able to name it if that is your experience, but just something about digital only for me doesn't work. I think I need them both. So that's where I'm going. I'm gonna try that out. For a while, I was a diehard passion planner journaler. All right, for the last, I don't know how many years, however long Angela Trinidad had passion planners. Here's my one from 2023. In 2023, I tried to how do I say this? In 2023, I tried to do both. I tried to bring back my paper planner because a couple of years before that I had been without it. And so I was like, okay, I could feel it. I knew something was off. So I was like, let me get my passion planner, my paper planner back in action. So I bought the 2023 version. And I love, for this, anybody who knows me, y'all know this like deep burgundy, red, maroon kind of is my jam. Hi, Miko. And so I bought this. This was my 2023, and I did my whole thing. You know, I set it up. I do my thing where I put 2 pin loops in there, and I come in, I bring in all my little tabs. I do the whole shebang. I sit down, I make a day of it. It's fun for me. I'm like excited to do it. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit here. Sorry, y'all. Um, and so I did that, and I was like, it was all set up. I mean, all my stuff was in there for the whole year, because that's the other thing. I'm somebody who really likes to plan. I mean, for my business specifically, not so much all the little details of my life, but for my business, it's important for me to be planned out for a year. And I also had gotten away from that. So for those of you out there that have been teachers for me, I'm going to get better this year. I promise. Thank you for riding the crazy train with me without me being super organized and all the things. So thank you for sticking with me through my valley moment. I appreciate that. And so all of that to say, I usually plan my year out for my business pretty much way in advance, right? And so, hi, Allie. Um, and so this has, yeah, so it's been that. It's been like a lot of willy-nilliness, and this is me trying to get myself back in order. So Passion Planner has been a really big part of that journey for me. I want to say, let me see if she has it in here. I want to say Angela Trinidad started this. I want to say, yeah, she has each one of them has the date for the year. 2012. She said after graduating from college in 2012, she decided to do something about it. She designed the Passion Planner, a person. So I think I've been using it since the first year it came out. So 2012, and I was pretty diehard. I have all of them in my closet in there. I started with the small one, then I went up to the larger one, then she made this size, and I can't. All right, so I've been following her. In fact, I used to be one of her Posh Plan ambassadors. One year I was on the street team talking about them, encouraging other people to take a look at it, all the things. So I really, really love this this planner. In fact, I'll share one. Now, this is not, I don't work for them. I'm not an affiliate. I don't have any kind of whatever. This is just a personal endorsement. This is just me saying, I found this thing that I love. So this is me saying I found a thing I love, and I'm just sharing it with y'all. So this is actually an older one. She does this thing every year where she will sell the old planners that she has like back stock. And some of you might be like, why would you buy an old planner? Oh, there's so many reasons. Welcome to the crazy. So this one's actually from 2021. I didn't buy it in 2021. I think I bought it in 2023 when I bought that other one. But I'm going to use this one to show you all just sort of the setup in this planner, because I really love it. So she always gives you this like overview. Obviously, these months are long gone. This is long gone. That's past. But then you have these. You have the month, and this is what I like. Like some calendars will put, or some planners will put all the months together in the front, and then they'll do a weekly. But I like that she has the month and then the weeks. Right, and I love vertical. That's my preference. Vertical for me is here. I need to put, I feel like I need to put something here that has some color in it, because otherwise this thing starts going crazy with all the white. But anyway, I like vertical. I love that she has a little box for your focus for the day. Over here, she's got focus for the week. She's got good things that happened, stuff to celebrate. She always has little quotes. And then I really love this section down here. It's kind of like your top priority, the priority, and then any errands. You can change this. I usually do change what these 3 things say, but she's got like your little personal to-do list for the week and your work to-do list. And then she has this little space of infinite possibility for you to like write notes and put all kinds of things on here, right? So I really love the layout of this. It's one of the only planners that I have found that does it the way my brain understands. The other thing is she gives you an option between a Monday start and a Sunday start. Listen, I don't want to fight with y'all about this, but I don't understand you Sunday start people. I love y'all, but I don't. That's still my weekend. Don't try to make me put my weekend at the beginning of my week. I'm not doing that. So I'm a Monday start person. In the chat, tell me, you Monday start? Are you Monday start or Sunday start? Tell me. Because I know this can be a thing that can be polarizing for people. We're not going to let it divide us. But I'm just curious if you're a Monday or Sunday start person in your calendar. I also love that about Google Calendar, that I can make my Monday be my start. Every time, Damon is a Sunday start person. Okay. Damon is a Sunday start. But I still love him and adore him, but he is a Sunday start person. So when he comes and looks at my calendar, he's like, why is everything off? I'm like, I'm a Monday start. He's like, oh, right. The other thing I love is that she has from 6 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. as the little increments. Most calendars like to give you just like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm like, you do know life happens before 8 a.m. and after 5 p.m. Like there's still life happening. So I love it. Courtney says Monday start in Eastern time zone is best. Courtney, I love you, but hey, I have lived in all the time zones except for Mountain at this point. No, that's not true. All the United States time zones. Let me say that, because that sounded very like, U.S. centric. So yes, all the U.S. time zones except for Mountain. I've lived in them all. All right, I see Monday. Doesn't matter. Monday start always. Yes. All right, so y'all get it. So I love that she gives you an option. You can buy a Monday start or you can buy a Sunday start, either one. And then the other thing I like is this. I don't know if this is just me, but I actually really love having the weeks numbered. Call me crazy, but it makes me happy. It makes me happy. So that's like the layout, and then it just continues. So you get all your week pages, and then here's what I also love. At the end of the month, you get a monthly reflection 2-page spread. Y'all know me. I love a good review. Hi, Tina. Tina says, I didn't know I needed a new planner. Listen, I'm not pushing anything on y'all. I'm just saying I love Passion Planner. I love this monthly reflection that she does. She gives really great questions. You could also, put your own in there, which I sometimes do. She gives you a little thing to rate the month, and then she gives you a little end of month checklist. So that's pretty much every month is like that, right? So you've got your monthly overview, and then, oh, sorry, I didn't show this. Also on the monthly, she has like the focus, your personal and your work focus for the month, people to see. Still haven't quite figured out what that's about. I always take black India ink, like I take a black Faber-Castell big brush, go over that, and use one of my little metallic pens, and I usually write something else over that because I don't know about people to see things. Places to go, I do keep that one, and I will always put little things like if I want to, if we're doing traveling or road trip, or I have like a new restaurant I want to try out, I will use that. And then things to learn. Listen, I'm a lifelong learner. I'm always learning something. So this box I like a lot. And then she has this little section down here for personal projects and work projects. Again, this is from the Zoom Out monthly view, right? Then she's got to break it down, create a mind map of the month's game changer. So she has lots of space for that. The other thing I didn't note is this, like when you get your planner, you've got this little passion roadmap that she does, like a little mind map. And I like that. I always fill mine out. I think it's really cool to do it because I like a good mind map. Y'all didn't just meet me. I like a mind map. So every month is set up that way. You got your monthly overview, and then you've got your weeklies, all the things, and then your monthly reflection, and then it repeats. And so that's the whole year. And then when you get to the end of the year, wait, hold on. I think she has a mid-year, if I'm remembering correctly. Let's see. I feel like there's a mid-year. Yep, there's a mid-year sort of check in on your passion mid-year. And then it starts again. And then she does it one more time. She doesn't do another map, but she does the monthly reflection at the end of December. And then she does a year-end reflection at the very end. So, and then after that, you just got a bunch of blank pages for all of your notes and all. And she's got blank and she's got dotted as well. I don't know if y'all can see those dots. Can you? Yep, the dots are showing up. So, yeah, passion planner. That's it's. And then there's a little pocket in the back. And you always get a little sticker. It changes each year what it says on it. Yeah. And then the elastic. For me, if a planner doesn't have an elastic, I don't even know what you're doing. Like, what's your problem? What is happening? So those are the things I really love about it. Oh, and there is this little thing. This little bookmarky thing. Now, I don't have I haven't ordered my 2025. I was kind of thinking that I might try to repurpose and repackage and reuse this one and just white things out. But I went and looked on their website yesterday or day before, and the new ones, the 2025 ones, actually have double bookmark ribbons. Y'all, I'm a sucker for a double bookmark ribbon. Is that sad? Maybe not. So yeah, that's my so this is one of the tools that I use to keep me organized, keep me straight, is having an actual planner. So this was, like I said, this was my 2023 one. And then I always add these little pin loops. I buy these by the bag of like 15 because I add them to every single journal that I have. If it doesn't come with one, I add it. So I have these in all colors. And so whenever I set up a new one, I do that. And then she has last year, or not last year, 2023. She did these little stickers. Here, I'm trying to show them to y'all without showing y'all all my business. Right, these little stickers that you could buy and add to the edge of your, planner. And I don't want mine sticking out too far, so I organize them. I'm very meticulous, I guess, about how I get them in there because I don't want them sticking out too far. And so yeah, that's all right. So that's the first thing. All right, that's the first thing, is getting super organized. The other thing is, and I didn't pull this thing out to show. Oh, here it is. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all one other thing. So for a long time, I had this business bullet journal. So let me go back and say this. My passion planner includes life and business because they're kind of so closely intertwined for me. Very little of my work doesn't seep into my life. Like they're very commingled. And so I do both in here. I also do both on my calendar. And so when I am in my best version of me, I sit down on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and reconcile the two. Okay. And so and what that also does is it gets me ready for the next day, week, month, right? It helps me. I also am someone who very much is quarterly. Like I look at things when I'm my best version of myself. I look at things from a quarterly standpoint. These 3 months, the next 3 months, right? And so that works for me, so that I'm not trying to do everything that's supposed to be done in a year in January. I go, oh, well, this isn't until October. I don't have to think about that for now, right? So that's just my way. I'm not telling you that has to be your way. Do you find your way? This is years, y'all. Listen, I used to be a Franklin Covey I mean, I have tried all the systems. Okay. I have tried all the systems for organizing and planning. When I was a teacher, when I worked in corporate, when I was a trainer, I have tried it all. Okay. And that's why this planner, I keep coming back to it because of all 51 years on this planet. Of course, I was planning when I was 4. But it all started really in high school when I was diagnosed with ADD. And um, the therapist that I was seeing taught me about planning and scheduling and writing things down and not trying to keep it all in my head and looking ahead the night before, looking ahead the week before. Like, do you, stop turning papers in late and getting in trouble in school? Look ahead, like on Sunday, look ahead. Do you have a paper due that week? Like it. So those skills have stuck with me. And like I said, I'm my best version of myself when I bring myself back to that. Sometimes I slip into, oh, I don't need to. I am 51. I have figured it out. I don't need to do that same stuff I was doing when I was 13, 14, 15 years old. I'm going to call BS on myself on that because if it works, it works. And it worked for me. Um, so I just have to, sometimes I have to recalibrate and bring myself back to reality. And the reality is I am someone who needs an agenda. I need a schedule. I am still flexible within that, but that helps me. And I think that's what happened is I was like, oh, well, I can just be flexible. I don't have to, I work from home. I have my own business. Nope. It is the opposite for me, actually. So I'm bringing myself back to that. So this bullet journal, I started this for my business. I don't know. I'm just going to say 8 years ago, y'all. We might be creeping up on 10 years. I don't know. But I've had this for some time. It's mostly blank because we're not going to have a conversation right now about bullet journaling, but I put this label on here, but it turned out to be something so much more than that. So for me, because I needed to, yeah, it helped me. Anyway, my point is I do have this thing that is very special and centralized for my business. I've got, y'all know me, I've got pages that extend and flip out and got washi tape and all the things. It's huge. It's bigger than, yeah, I'm gonna turn it sideways like that so y'all can see it in perspective. So this passion planner is 6.9 by 9.8. So it's a B5 size, the passion planner is. So just, and this is I think this red one is a moleskin. Nope, it's a Leuchtturm. Leuchtturm. And the size, I have no idea what the size is. Let's see. I usually keep the little thing that comes with it. Maybe it will tell me the size. Nope, it does not. So I can measure it for you though. But it's big. It's a big one. And I like it a lot. And I haven't been able to find another one. They probably have them on Amazon. Let's be clear. I haven't looked. This is 9 by 12 and a half roughly. That doesn't feel right. Feels so much bigger than that. Yeah, 9 by 12 and a half. So, all right. So those two things are really a big part of my like tools. Like if you had to strip me away of everything else and all I could have was these two, I think I could function pretty well in the world. Okay. So those are they. All right. I'm going to check the chat and sip some water. Courtney says a second bookmark ribbon is a real expensive reason. If you stagger the loops and put one in front and one in back, you can put a pin through and use it to keep your journal closed. Yeah, that's what I do with my, I'm going to show some other stuff in a moment here, and you'll see that, yes, I do that here. Here's a little sneak peek. I do that with my little Hobonichis. Miko says, where do you get the bags of pin loops and holders, man. Amazon. 95% of the stuff I show y'all is probably from Amazon. Otherwise, I usually will tell y'all where I got stuff from. So this red notebook came from a Barnes and Noble in Oakland or Berkeley somewhere, Oakland, Emeryville, somewhere like that. Years ago when I was living in the Bay Area. So that's where that's from. This is from Passion Planner. Let's see, 10 by 14, A4, maybe smaller. Yeah, so this one is the B5. This is, and then this is the 9 by 12.5. I'm bullet journal girl all the way. I get stressed out by empty pages, empty even boxes. Yeah, I am a list maker also. I make lists like a crazy person. So the other sort of thing that I'm like, if I can't have all the things, one thing that I absolutely must have is something that I can keep a checklist. I like the sticky notes that are the longer ones that have lines on them. I like a good checklist. I like being able to check things off. Very important. Rachel says, I make lists like stranded people yell at helicopters. Listen, I don't know if it's a part of my ADD or maybe I got a touch of OCD. My mother claims that my father, I didn't know this about him, but after he died, I saw this, but or after we had to move him out of his house and somebody had to help with the cleanup of that. This man made lists on everything, every surface, and I'm like, oh, is this where I get this from? But my mother says he was pretty much like that, very OCD, and made lists about everything all the time. And so lists are like my lifeline. I love a good list. All right. So Passion Planner, business bullet journal, and I don't really use it as a bullet journal. I call it that. It's more of like my business plan in a journal. I have a lot of the best way I can name it is I have a lot of things that are like drawn out and graphs and boxes and lines drawn and mind maps and all sorts of things. Hi, Jamie. Hey. Jamie says lists are a way of life. Exactly. I don't know how people function without lists. I make a list for everything. Like it's insanity. I'll ask Damon to do something. He's like, do you have a list? I'm like, of course I have a list. Here it is. Of course. Why are you asking me that? Yes, there's a list. Rachel says her list consists of desperate, loud things she should have done yesterday. I get that. All right. So the next level. So for me, it is about the paper planner, having a paper planner. That is helpful to me. And also my digital planner is helpful because that helps Damon be able to see when and where, all the things, right? It helps him to kind of know, to be able to help and assist me with things, in our life and in our business. And so the digital planner and the actual planner go hand in hand. One of the things when I am my best version of myself, one of the things that I do is I will sit down on a monthly basis and I will print out the month and I will sit down and I will create, a list of tasks and things that I need to do, so on and so forth. On a weekly basis, I do the same thing. I will, on a Sunday night, because that's the end of the weekend, not the beginning of the week. On a Sunday night, I will sit down and look ahead. Again, this is when I'm my best version of myself. I'll look ahead at the week and I'll kind of get my mind in order and make lists of things and check things off, blah, blah, blah. And then during the work week, I don't do this on the weekend, but during the work week, I will sit down the night before and I will look at what my next day is going to look like so that I'm not going to bed and with that stuff. And also, so I'm not waking up in a panic. Oh God, what do I have to do today? Right. So that's all of those things are true when I am my best version of myself, y'all. So just imagine now that I have stopped doing those things regularly and consistently, and I've been doing them kind of haphazardly. That does not work for me. This brain does not function like that. And I've been trying to force my brain to do, apparently do something else. I don't know, but I have come back to my senses, and I'm going to get myself back on track. So these two things really help me with that. The other thing that helps me is having what most people know as a commonplace journal. All right. Some people call it, in the fountain pen world, we call it our everyday carry. Um, and my current one that I really love, and I think I've shown this to you all before, but I'll show it again, just closing it up, is this little guy. This is a leather cover by Handmade Leather Tea is the name of the woman who makes these. I want to say she's not in the US. She's somewhere else. I've had this for years. I love it. I cherish it. It has nicely darkened, which I love about leather. For those of you who are vegan out there, love me anyway. Okay. So this is my everyday carry. It includes a handmade journal, a journal that I made. It also includes, here I'm trying to get myself in order. It also includes this little planner called a little journal called a life journal. And these are mostly pages that already have things on them. Like, it's intended to be a journal that you move from planner to planner with you. You put all of your information in it, and it's list of things that you, and this is why I love it. It's basically lists of things that maybe don't change or that you add to over time. And so it has all sorts of stuff in the front matter, but I've already put stuff in there, so I'm going to keep that kind of private. But this is one that I really love. So that's in the little back pocket there. And then this is a journal that I made, and it has Tomoe River paper. I've talked a lot about Tomoe River paper. In fact, in my little stuff I was going to show you all today, I've got two little things of Tomoe River paper because this is kind of what I use it for. This is a different size. This one's for a smaller size, but I have the big sheets of Tomoe River paper that I tore down to fit this particular journal, this planner cover, because I like this size. It fits nicely in my purse that I carry, or my bag that I carry out in the world. And I don't know what that is on there. So I made a journal specifically to go in it. So that's what that is. And so for me, what an everyday carry or a commonplace journal, whatever name you want to use, this is my brain dump. This is where all my sort of stuff throughout the day, I have it in the car with me. It's got mostly list upon list upon list, and it's all the stuff. Okay. So that's my like everyday carry. So if Damon's like, hey, we got to go run a quick errand. If I'm grabbing anything, I'm grabbing this and walking out the door. At one point, I used to keep my everyday carry. I had a larger one, and I used to keep my everyday carry. I used to have my credit cards in here and all my stuff. Like, I had another little thing that had like a credit card holder and all the stuff on this side of it, so that literally it acted almost as like a wallet as well. But I've since stopped doing that. No rhyme or reason, really, just stopped doing that. But yeah, so this is, for me, that's what an everyday carry is. The other thing it does is it marks time for me. So I can go back to this journal 3 weeks and go, oh, right, okay. Or I can be, then like, well, remember we talked about such and such? I'll go back to this and I say, oh yeah, I wrote a list about that. Right. So this is like my everyday carry. I touch this thing every single day. Every day I touch it. Hence the name, everyday carry, commonplace journal. Commonplace journal being a common place to put all the things. Okay. All right. I see some stuff in the chat. Let me check it and see what y'all are talking about and sip some water. Yes. All my list writing folks. Love y'all. Love y'all. Courtney says, writing lists are how I know my anxiety and OCD is getting worse. So they're not always that fun. Ah, Yeah, interesting. I can see if it's a signal for you that something is a little bit off. And I think for me, when I stop writing lists, that is my signal that something's off for me, because lists actually help me stay very focused and bring me back to what's important. Because y'all, listen, I know we like to say things like, "Ooh, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel." Well, that's a real thing times 10 if your brain doesn't have the ability to focus, or you don't have the tools to keep you focused. And so for me, I can look back over the last, I don't even have to go 6 years. I can look back over the last year and just go, oh my God, all the squirrel moments that pulled me out of the thing I was really supposed to be working on and working towards. It's insane. So yeah, for me, when I'm not making lists, that's my signal to myself that something is off and I need to bring myself back and get myself back on track. Um, um, yeah, Jamie says, hey, love, I have to, or else I'll get a case of the butt first. Yes, that part, that part. Like the list also helps me look at what's priority, because my brain tries to convince me everything is a priority. In fact, my brain tries to convince me that everything is a top priority, everything. And that's not, that cannot be true. That cannot be true. So there you go. Um, Wendy says, I always make lists, but they are all over the place and disorganized. Yeah, now that is my signal for the anxiety part, like Courtney was just saying. When I have 50 different lists in 50 different places, that's why this commonplace journal helps keep me wrangled. Even if I go off script and I make a list, say I see this piece of paper and I'm like, oh, I can make a list on this. And I make a list, or I'm talking on the phone and I just grab it, or I'm on a Zoom call. It's the closest thing to me. For whatever reason, I can't find it, and I'll put it here. I have to make myself make effort to take that little list and pop it in here, or to translate it onto paper in here. Like it requires another level of like focus. And so I try to not do that to myself. But listen, I'm human. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. And so that's why I keep little books with lists and things. In fact, here's a good time for me to talk about these little notebooks. So these little notebooks come in a set of 3. The third one is already in something else. But these come in a little set of 3. They are 3 2/8 by 7. So they're skinny minis, right? They're really thin. They don't have a lot of pages in them. And I think all 3 that I got this time are the graph, but they come in dotted, blank, and lined, I think. The brand is, they are Hobonichi. They're by the Hobonichi company. So that means, you know, they got the Tomoe River paper in them. And so these are really helpful to me as well, because again, lists. It's just a book of lists. And I love them because they fit when I don't have other crap in here. Oh, I got this. Oh, this is also another little neat thing I'll show y'all. I forgot this was in here. I'll show y'all that too. So when I don't have other stuff in the way, they fit very nicely right in the top of this. And then I can just pull them out. I don't even have to go through all the stuff of opening this. I can just pull this out and quickly jot. So I try to keep these on hand as well, or something like this. Of course, I can make these, right? This is also the reason why I keep the Tomoe River papers, because I can just make my own. But I've had these. These were a part. I bought these when I bought my other stuff that I'm going to show y'all in a little bit. So another thing that I love about Hobonichi, come on, they know me. These people know me. It's like they know me and they live in my head. They make these little sticky note things that are already, they have the little check boxes already on them. And you can just use it like this. I mean, this is some small spacing here. But also, they come off like little, they're sticky. They're like little sticky notes, and they're very sticky. So these are, I keep those in there as well. Okay, so that would be my next layer, is my journal that is just like my everyday catch-all journal. I have to have that. All right, then from there, everything else becomes very, the best way I can name it is specific to a specific thing. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to move these out of the way. So all of my journals beyond that become very specific. So for instance, I have, for my deep dive group, I have this little traveler's notebook that I keep, and it's usually some form of a traveler's notebook. I have an official traveler's notebook that I used to use for deep dive, and then it started getting full of stuff. And so this year I'm using this one. It's got like a little rose pink color. I think that's a Jamie Sawyer sticker right there. It is. She says, I spy a familiar sticker. Yeah, that's Jamie's. And in here, I keep multiple notebooks. I keep a notebook that is specific to my one-on-one calls with my deep divers. I keep a notebook that is specific to my sort of musings and quick hits and things that have to do with deep dive. I also keep a third one that is me working through the same stuff that I have them working through in deep dive. So all the journaling prompts I give them, all of the spreads I ask them to do, all of the homework and the assignments I give them in terms of going back into certain things that I give them as a group, I do the same work. I have either done it before I assign it to them, or I'm doing it along with them. So this journal holds those notebooks for that. And somebody asked, how do I get the little pin loops on here? So they are sticky. So they look like this, and they have a little peel piece of paper you peel off, and it's got this like sticky tape on it, and you just stick them to whatever surface that you're gonna have them. So that's how they come like that. This is a little pocket I keep just little stickers in, because sometimes I like to put stickers on things, if you haven't noticed. So I have a specific journal. I always have one specific journal that is for my deep dive program for the ladies in deep dive. And this just happens to be the one I'm using this year for that. But they usually are always this kind of setup, because I like to have multiple journals in it. One that's specific to me, one that's specific for my one-on-one calls with them, and then the actual activities and work that we're doing. So that's what that is. So that's always every year for the last, I think we started deep dive in year 3 of PPP. So for the last 6 years, I've always had a traveler notebook style something for deep dive. And then I always have a journal for my own sort of like self-study. I don't have it handy to show in this moment. When I have my astrology journal and my human design journals. And I always keep those two things together. And then I have, so that's sort of my always thing. Then every year for writing into winter, I will do a new journal that is a Hobonichi journal that comes with a little cover. In fact, so writing into winter happens in November, December every year. And each year I will do, I'm just looking through my little drawer here with my last few. So each year I'll have a writing into winter little notebook. And I say Hobonichi. The covers are Hobonichi covers. Okay, these, and yes, they are well loved. The covers are Hobonichi, but sometimes I don't use the Hobonichi journal on the inside. Sometimes I think this is the one that I'm going to be using for this year, writing into winter. And I want to say it's a stology one. Yeah. So sometimes I use the Hobonichi ones, which look like, here's an example of the Hobonichi ones. Not that, that's stology. That's an example. But also, let's Is this one Hobonichi? Yeah, this is a Hobonichi one. So here's some empty pages. So the Hobonichi ones are often dated. You can get the planner version and they all have the dates on them. And so I use it for writing into winter because I'm usually writing every single day, but also I ignore the dates and I just write like I write and then I'll keep writing. And if I end up with 4 pages of writing, all right. So these work really lovely. But this year I decided to go with the Stalogy ones, which I really love because they're not dated. Well, they kind of are, but they're not really. If you look really closely up here, these are basically dates, right? They've got, I could do, so today I would highlight September. I would highlight Saturday, and then I would highlight the 21st. So in essence, I could make it dated, but I really just use it to write and to journal. Last year, the one I used last year, get yourself in there. Go, go, go. The one I used last year, hold on. Okay. The one I used last year, I used for November's writing month. And alongside that, I also did the writing into winter class and the prompts and the things and the exercises I was giving for that. So this is something is like, I don't use it every single day. I only use it for that particular purpose. I used to, and this is an example of that. You can see how bowed out this is. So this is the same journal that's in this one. Same exact journal, same size, same everything. But once you start using it, once you start adding tabs and putting in extra bits and bobs, it starts to get, once you start writing on it and doing all the things, it starts to get a little chunky. And sometimes I'll put little swashes of watercolor on pages. Sometimes I've got stickers and washi tape on things. Sometimes, right, it gets, sorry, I am so wrong. Hold, please. This is actually a Hobonichi, but it's the same size as this. So when it comes, it's the same size as the Stalogy. But once I'm done, it usually looks something like this, if not fatter and chunkier. So once you add stickers and you start using, sometimes I'll use markers to like write on things. I'm writing in it. I'm adding all sorts of things, washi tape. I'm just looking for a page that I feel comfortable showing, but all my pages have writing on them. But I'm using all sorts of stuff. So it makes the book chunkier and chunkier and chunkier, which I really love at the end of the day. So there's always one for writing into winter. And I used to use one for my commonplace everyday journal. I love the Hobonichi covers because it doesn't matter what journal you have in it. The cover has the 2 bookmarks. They can be pricey. Hobonichis are not cheap. All right. You're getting really great paper. You're getting craftsmanship. You're getting the longevity and legacy of the Hobonichi, line of stationery. So you are paying the covers are, so that's one of the reasons why sometimes I will go with a Hobonichi cover that's about, we'll say $30, maybe less, reusable over and over again. And then I'll do something like a Stalogy that's like $15 instead of a $60 Hobonichi, right? So just me, it's just, yeah. Here's what I want to say, and this is not me being your mother. Don't buy these things if you're not going to use them, y'all. Like, I use these things. That's why I'm willing to pay a little extra for the things, because I do use them. I bought a new cover this year because I fell in love with this brown and yellow, even though I had this bright yellow and blue. But I was like, I really like this. I'm going to treat myself. This was actually my treat to myself for finishing the PPP Alchemy deck. I was like, when I finish that deck, I'm buying myself a new Hobonichi cover. So I did. So that's what that is. And I bought a new little pen to go with it. A new Lamy Safari. So these little journals then become, when I buy the small ones like this, they actually can fit 2 into one cover, right? So you can put one on that side, just slide in that cover, and then you can put this one on that side, and then you end up with 2 different journals if you like that kind of thing. So you can do that. And again, these two, Stalogy, Hobonichi, they're very similar, but they are also different. You know, they're not exactly the same. Okay. What else did I want to share with y'all? So many things. The 2 new Lamis that I got. I don't remember the names of them in this moment. Hold on, I have the boxes. Cherry Blossom. Isn't that just gorgeous? I haven't even opened it yet. Cherry Blossom. I know it's pink. I know some of y'all are right now like, is that a pink pan? It is. It's pink, people. I love y'all, but it's pink. It's pink, as we say in the Deep South. It's pink. But it's red also. Let's not discount the red. So I thought that would be good. I'll show you the journal that I have that on in a moment, because that'll take me to my next thing. List upon list. Just trying to see what this one is for. Oh yeah, because the other reason my journals get really chunky is because sometimes I'll just add little flip outs to things. Okay, I do that. But lots of tabs, lots of. That's another Stalogy one. And I'm saying Stalogy. Is it Stayology? I don't think so. I think it really is Stalogy. Don't quote it, people. I don't know. I don't see the. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's Stalogy. Stalogy. And this is my favorite one, the Editor's Series 365 Days Notebook, A6 size. All the ones that I've shown you that are this little size right here, that's what they are. The Editor's Series 365 A6. Okay. You got a cherry blossom tree to sell me? I'll take it. Let's see if I can find space for it. Okay. This one is called, I don't know why I want to say mojito. I don't think that's right. No, pina colada. I knew it was a drink name. If you like pina colada. Okay, so that's pina colada. And I really love it. I think it's just the cutest thing. All right. So those are my 2. So that, okay. So we've got the planners. We've got my business bullet journaling thing. We've got my commonplace notebook, my deep diver notebook. And then I always have a notebook for my writing, which specifically is usually used for writing in, sometimes I'll do April, November, and then writing into winter. April is National Poetry Writing Month. November is National Novel Writing Month. And then when writing into winter happens mid-November to the end of December, or to mid-December-ish, right? So those 3 things usually live in the same little journal together. And then of course I always have my PPP journal, which is specific to PPP. It's a handmade journal that's completely different. But what happens is my PPP notes for class end up in my commonplace notebook, my commonplace journal that I showed you all. So there is that part. So this year, one thing that I'm trying new, this is new, I don't know, we'll see if I like it. I have never used the Hobonichi Weeks. Let me take it out of the cover so y'all can see it out of the cover. I say that and then I'm like, oh God, this is going to be forever taking it out. That's that 3rd journal, that 3rd little notebook I was telling y'all about. Let's see if I can take this out without too much mess with this. All right, let's look at it without the cover. Then we'll put the cover back on. All right, so the Hobonichi Weeks. This will be my first year using it. Out of all these years I've been following and working with Hobonichi's products, this is my first time using what they call their Weeks journal. And it's a skinnier journal, obviously. You can see that. It is, not quite 4 by 7.5. So it's a skinnier journal. This is actually what's called the Weeks Mega or Mega Weeks. 2 of these, 2 ribbons. This is the red canvas cover, so it's kind of like book cloth, and I wanted this one because it makes me think about book binding and the book cloth that we use in book binding. So the Weeks Mega, and I don't know right now the difference. I think the difference is fewer pages of this in the back, fewer just like pages for writing. Maybe that's the difference. Don't quote that. But the Hobonichi Techo Weeks is just that. It is, you got your months. It reminds me a lot of those old school, and I say old school, you probably can still get them at the Dollar Tree or something. But remember the little calendars we would get that were like this size? They're really thin. They would be in these little plastic sleeves. Y'all remember them? Come on, I'm not the only one who remembers them. I think these are harking back to that for me. So you can still get your, all the months are together in the beginning of the journal. And then it has these vertical, it has the weeks going down, but they're horizontal for the day. Each day is a horizontal, and then you have space for writing. So I'm going to use my plan for 2025. It's a plan. We're going to see how it works out. I'm actually going to track my daily pulls for my tarot and soul collage cards. My goal in 2020, one of my things I hope to do in 2025 is pull a soul collage card every single day. It's a practice that I've been saying I want to start. I'm going to see if I can. Currently loading my soul collage cards up to the app so that even if I'm traveling and I'm away, I can still pull a soul collage card. So it's a whole little process. I've got time. It's only September, but that is what this journal is going to be for. We will see. And it's small, again, fits in my journal, in my purse, my bag, whatever, really, really easily. I thought it would be a good addition to my stash. So we'll see. I've already put one of these little guys is going to go with it. And so here's the cover that I bought. I bought this little plastic cover. They have covers that are just like the ones I showed you for the others. But I wanted this clear one because I wanted the red to show through. And I could have gotten a plain clear, but this one had yarn on it, and it got me. That got me right there. I don't knit, I don't crochet, but I do work with yarn and I do things. So I was like, because it's got yarn on it. And then it had this little wheel thing, and I was like, oh, that's like the mandalas that we made in Erin's class when we did weaving our chakras whole. So I was just like, this really spoke to me. And I don't know, I loved it. I thought this was it had a little candle. It just had things on it that I think speak to some of the symbology that I love. It had little angel wings, had these little shooting stars up here. I was like, yeah, it's very wintry, but I don't care. I like it. And so I bought that. So that is my Hobonichi Weeks. That's what I'm going to do with it. We'll see. And also, y'all, let's just name this. You don't need any of this stuff. Like, I could take some blank pieces of paper and make a thing and do a thing. But here's why this works for me. If something has an aesthetic that I like, or there's something I love about it, it's got a pen loop and I can stick my pen in there and always have the pen with me, and things that keep me coming back to my planners and my journals, right, is that there's something about them that I love. And so, do what works for you. I'm not here telling you that you need to buy not a single thing I've shown you. I'm just sharing with you my journey and my plans and what I'm going to be doing. So I love that it has a little pin loop on that. And then I also love that, this is kind of like a little thing that it's not very good because it's not that weighted down. But I like that. I like that I can kind of use it as almost as another little placeholder as well. I don't even know that that's what it's for. That's what I like it for. All right, so that's my Hobonichi Weeks. That's new to 2025. We'll see where that goes. And the pen that I'm pairing with this is the Cherry Blossom. I haven't decided what ink and all of that yet, but that's going to be the pen that goes with that one. So I'm excited about that. Have any of you used the Hobonichi Weeks? Please tell me what has been your experience with that. I have no idea if I'm going to do anything with the beginning parts of this. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see, because that feels like a good overview. So I don't know. Maybe I will use this for something like wands. Like I'll write the names, major wands, and then I can get a good overview of my month. We'll see. Who knows? All right, I'm going to take some sips of water here and check the chat. Courtney says, my planner ends up my commonplace journal. Yeah, I could see that. I could see how that could be. I showed you how to attach the pin loops. Yep. Did somebody say Nomi? Hi, Nomi. Courtney says, am I losing my mind, or are we just watching Kyla's by this hour? No, I am not telling anybody to go buy anything that I'm showing. This is me, number one, sharing with you all what I'm doing, and number two, a little bit of public accountability. Y'all can be like, hey, Kyla, how's that going for you in 6 months? I won't feel any kind of way with that. I won't feel like you're calling me out. If you're like, so how's that Hobonichi Weeks working out? Are you actually using it, Kyla? Show us what you're doing. So some of that is a little bit of also like some public accountability, because I don't need people like judging or pointing out when I don't do the things. But I think it is helpful for me, who I am and how I move in the world. It is helpful for me to know that, like, hey, there's people that you told you were going to do this. So even when I get to a point where I'm like, yeah, that's not working for me anymore, I come on and be like, hey, that did not work, y'all. I thought it was a great idea. It was a horrible idea. Here's why, right? So yeah, so let's be clear. Rachel said, I'm so enabled right now. No, you're not, Rachel. Do not blame me. And also blame me if you get something really good. Rachel says, I have 4 planners in front of me. They are not nearly enough. I love y'all. Y'all are my people. Courtney says, I just got a jet pens order today. Oh, I wish we were on Zoom so you could show us what you got. Jet pens is one of my favorite places. I have so many jet pen things. I think right now I probably have stuff sitting in my cart on jet pens. It's kind of insane. And it doesn't help that I used to live not too far from the actual jet pens warehouse. And so when I would order from them, when I lived in Oakland, I would get it like the next day. It was so good. It was so bad also. Rachel says, I'm a sucker for anything Sakura cherry blossom. Yeah, me too. I think I am. Rachel, there wasn't a flower on that pen. Y'all are funny. All right. Bring out the decks. Yes, I will show the deck before we go. Marilee says, love to see your pens and planners. As you may remember from Squam Lake, I'm a lover of fountain pens. I do remember that, Marley. You had some beautiful ones with you. Thank you for letting me touch them and see them and experience them. They make writing so much more fun. Exactly. I agree with you, especially because I use at least 8 ink colors. Me too. I've always got 10 or more pens inked up at a time. Listen, it's just a thing. If you know, you know. Love it. Yeah, there are lots of folks who make stickers for planners. I will tell you this. I am actually not a person who puts stickers like, there are some plans, I know, like Happy Planner or whatever. They have stickers that are specific for like the size of the boxes and all of that. I've not gotten into that so much. I love stickers. In fact, since we're all here and we're talking about stickers, I'll show y'all. I was going to post this, and I will still post this in the Mighty Network for those of you in PPP. I mean, for those of you in the Magical Playbook. But right, like we just did a little sticker scrying page in Kristen's class. So here's one that I did. Here's a second one that I've done, and I'll share those in the Mighty Network for those of you in that class. But for me, stickers are more like I do things like this with my stickers, right? I put them on stuff like that. I use them on pages inside my journal. Like when I would get a sticker, when I was a part of Jamie's Patreon, I get a sticker from her, and on the day I got the sticker, I put, you know, if I didn't want to like hoard it, I would put it in and I date it and I do a little journaling around that, right? So I use stickers, but I don't think I use them the way most people tend to use stickers. But yeah, stickers are a thing. Okay, let me show y'all a few more goodies that I got. Speaking of stickers, these, I am so in love with these stickers. This is from a woman on Etsy, Planning with K, vintage fountain pen and inks. Oh my God, talk about wanting to hoard something and also wanting to use it. In fact, you'll see that I used one of them here on my little scrying page, and here, and here. Because holy smokes, aren't they? They are gorgeousness. They are just so beautiful. I was, when I got them in the mail and I opened it, I was just like, they're even more beautiful here than they are online. Like, so anyway, Planning with K, Etsy. Um, and then I also got these from, let's open them because I see the name in there, but I can't see it. The sticker's covering it up. It's like Etsy just knows what to show you, right? Like it's like, here, look at these stickers that are that have fountain pens on them. Like, how do you even know I like fountain pens? I've never bought a fountain pen on Etsy ever. But I was like, I have to get this. So she did these little ones that are like, that's a Twisby Eco Tea, the eggplant edition. This is the mint blue Twisby. I was just like, I have to get these because they're just so perfect, so cute. And then she had a little Kaweco Eco Sport. So all three of these are Kaweco Sport, not Eco. And so I was like, I have to get them because I have the pens and I love the stickers, and I just thought they were really cute. And then she added this to my order. The answer is crafting. I don't care what the question is. I was like, yep, that's it. So this is Artful Geet Creations. Artful Geet Creations. See if we can get it to focus. There you go. On Etsy. So I had to get, so speaking of stickers, yeah, those. So those are my two latest little sticker acquisitions. What else do I want to show y'all? Oh, this little pen. This is where's the actual pen? Because it's not in here. Oh, here it is. This is actually a dip pen. It's by the company Sailor. They are very famous in the fountain pen world. But they made this little dip pen. It's not meant for you to put any ink inside the pen. It's meant for you to dip in your fountain. And I just thought, oh, this is so good for like testing ink colors and testing. So anyway, this is a 2.0 millimeter. And I mean, I guess you could, I don't know if you could put ink in there. But it's not anything that has like you can't put like a cartridge or anything. It's meant for dipping your ink in. And it just clicks back into place. And I think they have exchangeable nibs. You can get different sizes, but I'm like, I just, So I thought that was a really cool thing. You can use it for fountain pen inks. You can use it for your India ink or your Sumi inks, right? Just clean it off really good. But I thought those of you who know, if you know the company Dominant Industry, they make these amazing chromatic inks, but you cannot put them in your fountain pen. But I'm like, but I could dip and write with them using this dip pen. So I got that, and it was pretty. It was like, I don't know, y'all, just very inexpensive. So I grabbed one of those. That I got from the name of this. Oh, here it is. Here's a sticker from them. Yoseka Stationery. Yoseka. Really cool. Love them a lot. They have the coolest stuff. They have, I think I showed you all a bunch of clips and stuff that I got from them that are really, really cool for your planners and stuff. I think I also, don't quote me, but I think I got this from them as well. This little pin hook clip, which you put this on your, the idea is you put it on your journal and then you put the pin through this little part and just hook it on. So it has to be a pin that has a clip on it. But it's just another way to have another pin handy on there. So I grabbed that. I also got from them, look at those paper clips. Come on, tell me you're not loving that. Those are fountain pen nibs, paper clips. Of course, yes. All right. What is that? Huh. Now I'm questioning everything. Oh, no. Okay. Never mind. The other thing I got from them was this pen, this fountain pen. It's a newer pen by the same Sailor company. Came with these little cartridges. Tuzu is how I'm going to say it. And I went with the broad nib because I like a chunky nib. It's a snap off, snap on. But the thing about it, apparently you can adjust this so that it fits the way you like to hold a pen. That part's kind of lost on me because I tend to hold my pen pretty much the way it is. But I guess if you're someone who maybe you rotate your pen just a little, then you can adjust this so that it fits the angle that you write with, right? So the nib can rotate. But I got it because, well, the color, and I love Sailor just always has really great nibs. So I did, I wanted to try it out, and it was pretty inexpensive. Don't remember how much in this moment, but the Tuzu, and it's a fairly new one for them. So I thought I'm gonna give it a try. Let me give it a try. What else have I not shown you all? I think the only other little bits and bobs that I have here, these little index clips, because I love to put tabs if you had not noticed. I am definitely a tab, not that one so much, but I love tabs. I love putting tabs on my stuff. It just helps me. I know if I put a tab, there's something there I need to go back to. You know what I mean? And so I'm always putting little tabs on things so I can. So anyway, I like these little index clips. I thought these would be cute for organizing. And last but not least, I'm looking around. So I want to go back and just do a quick sort of. So for me, it's my planner, my digital planner, and my paper planner working together as a unit, cohesively talking to each other and being used in tandem. Then my business big journal, and then my everyday carry, my commonplace notebook. And then I have my deep diver notebook. And then from that point, everything becomes very thematic. So my one for writing. And then if I have a special project I'm working on, say, for instance, the PPP deck guidebook, I have a special journal for that. I have a journal for anything that I'm doing my own personal study and deep dive on, like astrology, human design. I always have journals for those. And then, yeah, just any projects and classes. I always have a journal for writing into winter, for November and April writing challenges. And then I always, if we're doing deck studies or book studies in PPP, I always have a journal for that. And I'll show you all because those journals are different, I think. So these are all deck and book studies that we've done in the last year, this year and last year of PPP. So I always, and so these journals are very, oh, sorry, no, there was a white writing into winter one thrown in there. I had a little extra one for that. So this is when I did the Muse Tarot. I did the ultimate deck study with the Muse Tarot. So I use this little journal. So I will use these little thin journals for things like that when I know it's just kind of like a one and done. When we did the book, we did a book study on the book Creatrix. All right, so things like that. That's what I will use these little journals for that. So I have a ton of these. I buy them by the case, basically. I buy them and I get like 80 of them at a time. I also give these out at like Sacred Makers and things like that. But I have a ton of them. I use them for all the things. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I will show you. Well, I said that's it for now. And then I realized I did pull out a couple other things to just show. Some other journals that I really like. This Leuchtturm. I know everybody's used to seeing the sort of the Leuchtturm that looks like this, right? The sort of standard thick one that everybody uses for bullet journaling. All right, here was one that was bullet journal specific. But I also like their thinner ones. This is a soft cover. It's bendable. I really like these. I came across these at, what is that store? Home Goods for like $8, which typically I think these are like $14. So I felt pretty good about that. So I got several of those. This is a B5 size. So I really like these. I use this. I have one like this that I use for Wisdom Keepers. Those Wisdom Keepers are moving on to Wisdom Keepers 2. So this will be my Wisdom Keeper 2 journal. And I'm starting a new cohort of Wisdom Keepers 1. And that's a writing circle that I do, Wisdom Keepers writing circle. So I wanted them to kind of match. So they're the same color. So I've got this one will be my Wisdom Keeper 2 journal. So for me, it just becomes really thematic at that point. Also, I can put it away when I'm done with it. And I can know exactly where to go to references. It's not all threaded through my commonplace notebook, you know. That just helps me be a little more organized, having things pretty organized. I also have these other two that I'm thinking about using this year for a couple of things I'm going to be doing that I have coming up that are just personal projects. So I'm thinking about, this is a Moleskine. I don't know how you say it. It's a Kahir, but it's the bigger one. What size is this? And this came in a set of 3. I gave one to Damon, and I used one for something else. This is 8.5 by 11. It says. So standard sheet of paper in the US. It looks bigger than that to me, but okay. But I like the paper in this. This is the dotted one. It's not Tomoe River, but it's kind of close. Kind of. Yeah, kind of. And then this Fabriano journal. And this one is A4 size. So, you know, y'all can Google that because I don't know what that is. A4 size. But it's blank. But oh my God, the paper. Fabriano paper is just amazing anyway. So I haven't used it yet, but I've got a plan for this one. And then the last ones I'll show you all are journals I've been hoarding and I need to use them. It's time to stop hoarding them. I think I shared this onion skin journal with you all before. The paper in this is super thin. It's onion skin. Haha, that did not mean to rhyme, but you know, what can you do? So super thin. And I don't know what I want to do with this, but I feel like it should be really special, whatever it is. And yes, Ouroboros on the front. Yes, snake. So I don't know. This feels like it gets a special something. And that's why I've been hoarding it. I've had it for a while. But that one, it's got this really beautiful linen cover, gold embossed. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know, but I feel like there's something special coming that this journal is going to be for. Yeah, I've already showed those. These 3. Now I gotta try to remember the company. Hold on, let's see if their name is in it. Their name is nowhere in here. All right, I'll have to figure out the company that I got these from, but they are 3 different. They're all the same size, which is probably like, I don't know, B5, B6, something like that. But man, this paper, I got it because I got these 3 because I wanted to try out their paper, and I haven't done it yet. So these 3, this one's a little more flexible and bendy than that one. This one's more hard cover. Why don't I have any reference point of who these people are? All I have is their little stamp on here. I can't think of the name of the company in this moment, though. I usually save everything so I know where I got something from. I'll have to go back and look. But each one has a different type of paper in it. So I'm looking forward to I bought them so I could sample this company and see. So we'll see. I have lots of projects coming up in 2025. So I believe, these journals I have not used yet will see some airplay and airtime this year. And then last but not least, I'm pretty sure. Oh, one more pen to show you. And then I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about doing with this little journal. And then I'll show you the deck and we'll call it done. I'm so close. Look at the time. I'm so close. All right. Let me check the chat. Like the ones the banks gave out. Luna, tell me. I think I missed what you were asking there, or what you were asking about. So if you are up for it, just tell me what you were asking about. Courtney says, I have Moleskine and nobody makes stickers for that because it's just a general planner, but I use other functional stickers. Yes. Thank you, Courtney. I will look at that. Marley says, I went to Yoseka Stationery Fest in August. Shut the front door, Marley. Wait, where is this and why is this they're in New York, right? The line to get in was 6 blocks. I need to know about this stationery fest. I'm all over it. Just tell me when, and I will try my best to be there because. Courtney says, don't you dare judge my chunky nib. Listen, I love a chunky nib. Use it next year for the year of the snake. Oh, maybe. Maybe I need to use that journal, that onion skin journal with the Ouroboros on it, to write my relationship with snakes. Maybe that's what I need to do. Okay, so I have this other, like I said, the Passion Planner people, every year they do a big sale of all the planners that are like backlogged, that nobody bought or whatever, the overflow, the leftovers, blah, blah, blah. And when they do it, y'all, sometimes the planner is like $5. So I'm like, hey, that's paper in a cover. Who cares what the date says on it? So if you're wanting to, so let me show y'all what I'm thinking about this. First of all, I just love it. And yes, it's a snake. So look at that. Maybe the year of the snake, these things just want to come out. I think I've been trying to write my relationship with snakes. I'm not calling in snakes. Let's be clear, universe. I am not. No, we're not calling in snakes. But this one's from 2021. Again, it's one that they were, like I said, they were doing a closeout. Plus, this lets you all see the other sizes. Look at this one. This one had the 2 ribbons in it. So I was thinking that I could use this for tracking. I don't know what I'm tracking yet, but we have done things in PPP like lunar mansion tracking the lunar mansions. We do stuff in lunar letters all the time where we're tracking moon things. So I don't know. I feel like there's something that I need to be tracking. So yeah, I don't know, but that I'm feeling like I could take this planner, and even though the dates will probably be off, that I could still do my little, I could just cover these up with something creative. I can get creative with it, and I could still use this for something. I don't know what yet. I'm going to say that again and again, but I feel like this is a good use, of this is some good paper. The paper in this, I didn't mention this, but the paper in their journals is fountain pen friendly, and it works really well with fountain pens. No ghosting, depending on the pen you're using. using and the ink you're using. There are some inks that make themselves known no matter what you do, no matter what kind of paper you have. But I never get any like bleed or with the fountain pens that I use. So I don't know, but I like this size, and I feel like there's something that wants to be tracked. I don't know what yet. I also thought about using it as like my meal planning, because that's the other thing that I got away from that helps me be my best version of myself is when I sit down and plan my meals. So Damon and I years ago created this this little Rich Life planner, this meal planner that we do, and it has gone through a lot of iterations. But I use this when I'm being my best self. I sit down and I plan out my meals for the week, buy the groceries, and then this way we're not going to the grocery store every other day. It interrupts the flow of creative things happening in our lives, and it just is so disruptive when it's like, oh, well, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, well, what are we going to have for dinner? And then at 5 o'clock, we still don't know. And then at 7, we're trying to go to the grocery store and grab food. Like that is not my life. I've been doing that for years now, and that does not work for me. And I know this. So this is what I mean by getting myself back to myself. So that part. So yeah, maybe I'll use this for some meal planning stuff. We'll see. I don't know yet. But there's something that this journal wants to be doing. All right. Okay, friends, I'm going to look at things that you have here. I'm going to see if there are any questions for me. Anything else you'd like me to speak about? All of this is really just me sharing with you all. Just the reality is sometimes we do get away from what we know is what's best for us. And that could be a number of reasons, right? I mean, I do Instagram sometimes and I just see people just, living willy-nilly. And I'm like, oh, I don't need to be as scheduled as I have been. And that is crap, because I do. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm not telling anybody else what to do, but I know me. I know how my brain works. I know my relationship with time. Those of you who've been hanging out with me for the last 5 or 6 years, you know my relationship with time. Right. And so that should have been my first indicator when I started making mistakes with time. That should have been the first wake up call for me is, why do I keep messing up the day and the time on things? Right. That should have been the first thing that snapped me back to reality. But it wasn't. And so I have big things that are shifting and moving in my life and in my business over the next 18 months. And I know that in order for me to thrive in all the changes and the shifting, that I really have to be organized. I've got to get myself back on track with all the ways that I keep myself organized. And my office space being overrun with stuff was my other red flag that I didn't listen to. So yeah, all of this stuff is going to, I believe, help bring me back to my truest, best, most high vibrating version of myself. And I can't wait for her to reemerge. And so thank you all for being on the journey with me as I share all the things that I think will help get me back. Like I have to have these tools to help me, like to be excited about, because that keeps me in them. And I did go some years without buying a lot of new things, right? And it's not that I got to buy a lot of new things. I mean, making my own journals. Every time I run out of a journal in my little leather journal there, I have to make a new journal, right? And that excites me. So, when I get to the end of a journal, I don't care what journal it is, a journal I bought, a journal someone gave me, a journal I made. When I see myself getting to the last 2 pages, I get giddy with excitement about that, right? And so these little joys, these tiny little joys are the things that just help keep us going. And so whatever your tiny little joy is, lean into that. It doesn't have to be planning or fountain pens. And also it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to cost you a darn thing. Go get you a 5-cent big pen. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So last but not least, I will show, am I going to show this deck? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show the deck, the whole thing. I'm just going to say there is a Pull Pen Paint deck that is now in the world. It is a big shout out to Reese for helping me get the box, graphically the template of the box done and getting it loaded up to the system that I wanted to use for printing. This is the first of many decks in Pulp and Paint, but this is my baby. I have been working on this deck for 3.5 years, and so she's out in the world. So people who are in 2024 PPP, we're going to be doing a deck study. Decks are going to be shipping out to you all middle or end of next week. But this is some people already have theirs. The deep divers have theirs. A couple of the folks in the community already have theirs. But yeah, it's here. It's a thing. And I'm so stinking happy about it. Big shout out to Rachel, who's here, I think still in the chat, for our logo that just is the logo that just keeps giving to us. And so thank you, Rachel, for that. I love and adore it. Yeah, this has been a journey, and it's still kind of going because there are little pieces of it. There were some hiccups. I had to redo a thing. I had to get a whole set of cards reprinted. It's been a journey. But for those of you who are deck creators or thinking about creating decks, this is a part of that journey, depending on what you want to do with it. So thank you to every single one of you who has ever been a student in Pulp and Paint. Your energy is infused in this, especially if you've been in Pulp and Paint over the last 3.5 years. When I was like, oh, I need to make a PPP deck. And so many of you were like, yes, do it. And so I'm excited for us to journey and play with this deck the rest of this year. Once everybody that's in the class that ordered one gets it in their hands. And for this to be a thing that moves forward with us into the next, next few decades of PPP. I don't know how long it will keep going. As long as the universe tells me to keep doing it, I will keep doing it. So already got our plan theme for our overarching theme for 2025, which I am stupidly giddy about. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to sharing this space with you all. Yeah, there's so many other things I could say, but that I won't go. The reason I'm not showing it is because I want people, when they get their decks, to really be able to experience it firsthand without seeing it here. So we'll wait. And then once we're in the midst of the deck study, maybe I'll show it again. So thank you all for allowing me to share that with you. All right, lovelies. Thank you so much. Marguerite, hi. I'm glad you were here. You always lift my spirits being here as well. So thank you. Ronnie Sue says snakes are very earthy. I know, Ronnie Sue. I don't know what my issue is. It's the slithering. It's the slithering that bothers. It's like, what is that? I don't know. It's like they don't have arms. They're just, I'm working through it. Because I also know they are huge symbols of transformation and huge symbols of like shedding that which no longer serves us. I mean, they have so much symbolism. They are a huge reminder of death and rebirth. There's so much about them symbolically. And so I am working to reconcile my whatever fear / cringiness around them. So yeah, but thank you for that reminder that they are earthy. They are the closest to the earth, right? Yeah. So we'll see how that journey goes. Thanks for being here, Courtney. Glad you were able to hang out with us. This week's planners, the thin ones. These little guys. I think that's what Lona is talking about. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for helping bring it into the world. All right, friends. I went about 10, almost 15 minutes over, not quite yet. Why don't we just round it out and make it 15? I've got under 2 minutes here to say to you all, thank you. Thank you for just all the ways in which you all just keep showing up to this community, keep doing things. I want to invite you to come write with me this second half, this last few months of the year. I have several different writing opportunities for you. So if you're not on my newsletter, please get on there. I would love for us to write together. Even if you don't feel like you are a writer, trust me, I can help you move past that limiting belief for yourself. But I'd love to write with you. I have several opportunities. If you're just like, I'm a newbie, I want to dip my toe, then stay tuned for Writing into Winter. That's a very gentle 6-week journey of writing together. Um, I also have something coming up that I'm not quite ready to announce yet, but you all have been hearing me tease about prompts and practice, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a 2025 thing, but maybe starting in December. And then come do soul collage with me. Come join into one of the soul collage classes. In fact, we have a special workshop happening with soul collage with Leanne Nesbitt, October 3rd. I think. Yep, October 3rd, coming up soon. She's going to be talking about soul collage and dream work and taking us through some activities and exercises there. Even if you're like, I don't know about it, I'm not really an artist. It's not about that. It is not about that at all. So grab a magazine, a glue stick, some scissors, and some paper, and we can help you with some soul collage. So lots of wonderful things. PPP registration for 2025 is going to be a little different this year how we do it, but it'll be coming fast and furious here as we move towards the end of the year. Lots of good stuff. I really believe that me getting back to my organized self is going to really help me be a little more, not just productive, but effective and efficient in the things that I have going on and things that I've been doing in the world. So, I'm excited to write with you all this year at the end of the year. For those that always come to Writing into Winter, I look forward to that. And if you are curious about Wisdom Keepers, please connect with me privately, because it is just send me an email, or if you're in the Mighty Network, send me a private message. It's a small group. We keep it to 12, 13 max. And it's a really lovely, lovely process. So I love y'all. I hope you're doing really good things for yourself, no matter what that looks like, whether it's buying journals or making journals. Just keep staying in your creative flow, follow what lights you up, and find community to support you in all the ways. All right. Love y'all and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye. Yes, go get you a planner. I love it. Y'all have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. See you soon. Or Saturday. This is me and time. It's Saturday. See y'all. Love you. Bye.